What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined by Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am awesome. Thank you for asking. Period.
Period.
I learned that from the city girls.
From the city.
I learned it from the city girls.
Oh man, I haven't thought about the city girls and I don't know how long.
Why?
They're just not on my mind. I mean, should I be thinking about them more
First
often?
of all, that's the problem right there. They should always be on your mind. They should always be on your mind.
Oh man, but if you didn't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of super action-filled movie, TV shows, trailer, we review it, we react to it, we talk about it, we break it down, and we bring all of that information to you. But if you like that, you can go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can go ahead and follow us on all major podcast streaming services, and you can reach out to us on Twitter at ATSuperPod. I've got All Things Super clap. Oh, but this week we are going to be reviewing the first three episodes, 1, 2, 3 of Amazon Prime Video's The Boys Season 3. Man, they wasted no time jumping in to this season. So before we even get started, full spoilers. We jumping right into it. Full spoilers. We're gonna.
Dun, dun, dun.
I thought you were gonna get the air horn.
No.
No, not this week. But yeah, full spoilers, first three episodes. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead, pause the video, go watch The Boys, come back, then you can watch the episode.
Why wouldn't you have watched it? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Why? Like,
that's a good
question.
What are you doing? I don't know.
You're watching us and haven't watched that? That's thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we do appreciate you coming. We appreciate you coming to us first, but if you want the full experience, you gotta watch the show, then come back and see what we got to say about it. Or you might just be like, oh, I just want to see what they say to see if it's worth me watching it or not. And in that case, we absolutely thank you for valuing our opinions.
That is your spoiler warning.
But yes, full spoilers jumping into the first three episodes. But just to kind of recap what happened in the previous two seasons. So, of course, The Boys takes place in this fictional universe where we have this superhero Justice League Avengers type group called the Seven, where these seven main superheroes, they are the top tier. They're the ones to call when there's these life-threatening events, these you know what we don't really see a lot in The Boys, where we do see like other superhero properties, we don't really see any super villains that much.
No.
Like we see, like there's this PR side to The Boys where mostly what we see is them doing promotions, endorsements, like conferences, appearances, and stuff like that. So we see like this outside of the Justice League fighting Steppenwolf and Darkseid, the Avengers going up against Thanos and Loki and all of these other villains. So in their downtime, like Captain America and Spider-Man Homecoming doing his you got detention. And he like doing videos like that. And this is, I don't know why it took me that long to put this together, but that's what just thinking about it. We don't really see The Boys going up against any superpowered threats. It's like they're dealing with their own superpowered problems. But of course, we have these flawed superheroes who have all of these different types of problems, and then there's this outside group, The Boys.
I don't know if you could say all of them are flawed.
True. Well, I feel like they are though. I feel like they are though. I feel like all of them have some type of flaws. All of them have some types of issues, some type of thing that they're suppressing, and just some type of general like internal struggle that they're dealing with.
Yes, I agree with that, but what flaw does Starlight have?
Starlight,
she's just in the midst of some shit.
Yeah.
Shit is not really flawed. Her mommy issues are over. She came into her own, and
True.
she's standing up for herself.
True. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. I could get
So
behind
she's
that.
the exception. She's the exception. With
She's the
everybody else got
exception.
some shit
Yeah.
going on.
Everybody else got some real issues, some way more serious than others. But yeah, they all have some real issues going on. But yeah, so you have this their, what's the word I'm looking for? But the group that's basically going up against the Seven because they want to see the downfall of the supers. They see that this organization Vought, which basically sponsors the Seven, they're corrupt. They're in the pockets of politicians. They're basically running the world, and so the boys want to see Vought brought down. And the way to do that, of course, you have to take down the supers. So we get into their story and their attempts to try to uncover all of these underground, these shady misgoings on of Vought and the supers and the Seven, and yeah, of course, a lot of death, a lot of gore. There's a lot of people that get fucked up throughout the first two seasons.
Throughout the season.
Going into season 3, they start off and they hit the ground running.
Same vein.
Just didn't miss a beat. But just kind of overall, I'm of course already sucked into the season. They started off, they picked up a year after the end of season 2, so some things have progressed, some storylines have progressed, so I
like that part.
Yeah, I do too. I'm glad it didn't pick up right where we left off, so we got to see people not necessarily in the same place as we left them in the season 2, so I'm appreciative about that. But what I what I really enjoy is just that it's still the progression that we see, like you said, with Starlight. She's not the same meek person that she was when she first joined the Seven. She's standing up for herself. She's not afraid to speak her mind.
She would never let something like that happen to her again, or anyone else again.
And the fact
that you guys haven't seen season 1 or season 2, again, thank you for coming here. But you need to go see season 1 and season 2 so you can know exactly what we're talking about.
But it's no, and I know we're gonna be jumping around different spots of the season, talking about what we liked and what we didn't like in this season. In the 3 episodes so far for this season. But I Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander.
Here we go.
If you remember, we did our trailer reaction to The Boys season 3, and we talked about Anthony Starr and just how he portrays Homelander, and just this look in his eyes where you can see that this is a broken man. He has deep-seated internal issues. But the thing about it is, what this season has done is this season has allowed him the freedom to embrace that. Because before he's like, I have this, and we kind of, realized that this season that Homelander wasn't born. Homelander was created. Homelander was manufactured. And he's had to deal with not being a normal person. A lot of these other supers, they were children, parents. As we found out in season 2, they were babies, and their parents took money from Vought to inject them with Compound V in order to create superheroes. And so they somewhat had got to lead normal lives, but they were normal lives, but sort of with superpowers. But they were never just under Vaught's thumb the entire time. But Homelander, he's been a science experiment for Vought this entire time. So he's not had the opportunity to actually live a normal life, be around normal people, socialize around normal people. So obviously he's sociologically stunted. He has these issues. He's not a very well-rounded social person. And for him to finally stop hiding behind the veil of this PR machine that is Vought, and he finally says, you know what, I'm tired of apologizing, I'm tired of saying sorry for who I am. He's like, I am the Homelander. And which, if you watch the animated show, they did an episode about Homelander kind of like just joining the Seven, kind of his coming out as a public superhero, and he was the Homelander. And at the end of the episode, I forget the name of his handler before she got killed at the end of season 1, but she told him, I think you should drop the and just be Homelander. And it's nice that they kind of called back to that when he said, I am the Homelander. Like, I'm not right. I am Homelander, I am the Homelander. He's basically emphasizing, I am stronger and better than all of you. Like, no one, not a single person around can hold a candle to me. So why should I have to apologize for who I am? And these entire 3 episodes, he's been told, you're scoring poorly, your Q rating is down, people don't approve of you because you were in a relationship with an identified Nazi. Right, a Nazi. Yeah, a Nazi. And people were like, all right, we're not happy with that. And so he's had to kind of like bite his tongue, mince his words, because everybody in power is telling him that nobody likes you anymore. Or at least the people who like you are getting less and less. They don't like you because of what you did. And so the first 2 episodes, he's just kind of like, all right, just kind of trying to take a step back.
Walking on eggshells.
Right, walking on eggshells. They brought Starlight in as co-captain because Starlight was scoring higher than Homelander. And so in order to bring Homelander's image up, they brought Starlight in. And so now he gets to this point to where he's like, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of all of it. I can do what I want. And nobody can stop me. And I know that. So why should I have to apologize? And then come to find out, people like that. People like, oh, they like because you speak your mind, because you're unapologetic, because you're confident. And another
just
thing,
like the general public, we don't know what we want.
Exactly.
Because this guy's a ticking time bomb waiting to go off.
Right. And people don't see that. People don't understand that. But the thing about it is, like, one thing that The Boys does well, and even just with these first 3 episodes, they've been leaning into that, just the current actual like sociological political climate that's happening right now in the real world. They adapt that into their superhero world to make it fit their story. And it honestly, not to get, you know what, I'm not even going to go there because I don't want to get political, but but if it followed, I'll say it followed, because I won't name any names specifically because it's not just one person, but it follows certain political people who the general public will see those people and say, I appreciate that person because that person says what's on their mind. That person is unapologetic, so I will endorse that person. Not necessarily because I agree with what they're saying, but because I appreciate them having the courage and the confidence to say it. And so I think that's where they're going with this whole thing with Homelander, and like his rating going up because he's finally embracing himself. And it's to the point now to where in previous seasons there was an incident where there was a plane that was about to crash, and
right.
And I think that's kind of what I don't remember if it was the exact first time that we saw how the Seven was kind of like not necessarily like this super team that we anticipated them to be, but they Homelander and Maeve got to the plane that was going down. And of course, it's a plane full of people, and they all want to be saved. Homelander and Maeve, realizing that they can't save them all, they basically doomed them all to die. Homelander actively threatened the people, say, I will laser the fuck out of all of you if you don't get back. Yeah. And so they ended up retrieving a video of Homelander doing that. And so Starlight has control of the video. I think the boys themselves have control of the video. And so Starlight has been kind of, a couple of people have been kind of holding that over, because Maeve tried to hold it over Homelander's head. Now Starlight's trying to hold it over Homelander's head. And
clearly this season, Homelander said he don't really give a...
Exactly.
You could drop it.
He's like, release a video. He's like,
and he'll destroy everybody.
He said, I'll take over everything. I'll take out the infrastructure. I'll take out the capital. I'll take out the president, all the politicians. I'll take out the internet, the power grid, and I'll just run everything. He's like, I don't care anymore. And he's the line that killed me because it was so expertly delivered. Anthony Starr, you are phenomenal in this role. He said,
Thank you.
I would love to be loved, but he said, he's like, I'm hunky dory okie doke with being feared. He's like, I would love for them to love me. He was like, I appreciate the admiration. I will absolutely love to be revered. But if I have to take control and everyone fear me instead, I'm just fine with that. I'm good with it.
6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I'm good either way.
Exactly. But no, he's absolutely, he's come out because, and it's like the rest of the 7, because the Deep got kicked out of the 7 because of what he did to Starlight.
Right.
And what was Translucent? Translucent died. He died in season 1. He got blown up by the boys.
Horrible death.
So they were down 2 members of the 7. So and who else left? Because I know that
Black Noir had a peanut allergy situation that kind of took him out.
Yeah. And so did they bring Starlight in to replace Black Noir, or did they bring Starlight in to replace Translucent?
These are questions that you go get answered
by watching the first couple seasons.
Season 1 and season 2. But so if you're asking these same questions, we now know you didn't watch.
Right. But so Starlight got brought into the 7. And so in the year that we didn't see in between season 2 and season 3, they started this reality show, sort of Bachelor-esque, where they're trying to find the 2 new members of the 7. One of the new members.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
The way that they did it, I feel like it's very on brand for the show. I feel like that would be something that they would do, because you have a country full of superheroes. Because after the scandal came out that Vought has been manufacturing superheroes by paying parents to inject their children with Compound V, I feel like you can't just like hold auditions for somebody to be in the 7 or like review, because basically what was happening, the way Starlight got in, because they're like all of the supers are being monitored, like basically all over the country, and like you save people, you do good deeds, you try to get on Vaught's radar, and then once you score high enough, then like, okay, well, we'll think about like bring you up to the 7. And so Starlight,
like the West Coast Avengers or the East Coast Avengers. Mm-hmm. But you're not part of the 7.
Right.
7's like the Justice League.
Exactly. You gotta be up. You gotta be up there. And so Starlight got brought on, and I think they kind of like entertained the idea of bringing her on. Then the whole thing happened with the Deep, and I think when the Deep got kicked out, that's when they brought Starlight in. That was like kind of the exchange in order to keep her quiet about what happened between her and the Deep, which she eventually ended up coming out and saying, which got the Deep like sent to like Minnesota or South Dakota or something like that.
Oh, so funny.
But so they have the reality show. They're trying to get find the next 2 members of the 7, and they eventually end up bringing the Deep back, which I'm glad he's back in the show. I think it's an incredibly stupid idea to bring him back, but I understand it, and I understand Homelander's like reasoning behind it, because if he's gonna have a team around him, he's gonna have the 7, then he's going to need people who he knows that he can control.
Correct.
As we saw in that dinner scene, where so first of all, the Deep and his wife, they're getting along. There's an aquarium in the Deep's room, and you saw this in a trailer. The Deep's having sex with his wife, and he's this octopus, and obviously he's fantasizing about the octopus more than he's thinking about his wife.
Literally, God fucks fish, man. God fucks fish.
If not the very next scene, maybe 2 scenes later, there's a dinner party to welcome the Deep back, and Homelander just brings all of the seafood in, lobsters, oysters, all this other kind of stuff.
Horrible.
They end up bringing the octopus in, and Homelander makes the Deep eat the octopus, and such a gross scene, but it's powerful
right
in the sense. Exactly, it's powerful in the sense is like this shows Homelander's control over these people. When he was about to, when A-Train nearly pissed himself because A-Train cursed out Homelander under his breath. He said, of course, Homelander has super hearing. A-Train, like, Homelander's calling him fat because A-Train has a heart condition. A-Train can't run anymore. And so A-Train's still eating and everything. He had a milkshake, and Homelander was like, yeah, I've been seeing you. He's like, I saw you at the concession cart. I seen you here. I seen you eating this, eating that. A-Train was like, come on, man, you know I need 20,000 calories. Like, yeah, maybe when you were running, but you're not running anymore, are you? So he just been calling him a fat ass. And so A-Train turns around under his breath, like, man, fuck you. Homelander turned around like, what'd you say? Rolled up on him, and it's like, and it's not, and this is kind of the thing. It's like Homelander's not even trying to hide it anymore. In the middle of the hallway, where everybody's walking through, in front of everybody, right. He just grabbed A-Train by the neck and just like about to lace the fuck out of him. A-Train's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
For the record, I thought Homelander threw A-Train off the roof. In the trailer, I thought that was A-Train hitting the ground. And I think he may have lasered that girl off the roof too.
It's possible. It's absolutely possible. God. But I mean, when she hit the ground, she went splat.
This is who the crowd wants. This is who America wants.
Yeah. The
guy that's murdering people. What does that say about us?
but just like we were talking about them hitting the ground running with that first scene, because the boys.
What's her name?
Which one? Starlight or Stormfront?
Stormfront died. Oh.
Yeah, she died. Tear. The Nazi
she killed herself. That's horrible. Which made this dude lose his mind even more.
He was in the bed caressing her blood in the bed, just stain. Like the blood stain. Yeah, it's like this man has a fractured mind. He is broken. There's literally something wrong with this dude. But. And we were just been talking about the supers. We haven't even gotten into like the boys side of it. It's like Mother's Milk. His struggle with what he's going to. His father was obsessed over Soldier Boy. He's like, his dad died, like following these ghosts, and he's like, I don't want to do that. He's like, my father was ignoring. He was following this dead guy and ignoring the live children that he had. And then Butcher comes in, brings this information about Soldier Boy. You see Mother's Milk kind of pining over all of these newspaper clippings, falling into the same thing.
He doesn't want to do.
The food starts burning. His daughter comes and like, Dad, something smells smoke. He comes in there, he's putting the fire out. The smoke alarm's going off. He takes a smoke alarm off the ceiling and just starts beating the shit out of him. I'm like, when I was watching, I was like, really, homie? You don't know how to like stop the little smoke alarm going off? But he was just, he raged because he has that in him. And so he realizes that he goes back to his, I think that's his ex-wife. And he goes back to it and he's like, I have this baggage with Soldier Boy. And now we find out that there might be like a weapon that killed him and we can use that to kill Homelander. He's like, I have to see this through, but I can't have my daughter around. It's like you see this, but the thing about it is I'm glad that they didn't show his ex-wife like mad at him, like lashing out at him, like being angry with him. She was like, I understand. I know what you've been through. And I understand you got to go do what you got to do. She's still going to be here after you get back. We're going to be here after you get back.
Holding it down. She done moved all the way on anyway.
The thing about it is it was a subtle thing, when Homelander was on stage for his birthday celebration and he's giving his speech, he's talking about he's done apologizing and all this other kind of stuff. You can see her in the background, her husband, her new husband on the couch, and when Homelander is doing it, he's got this look on his face, like he leans forward and like really intent and like really engaged. He's excited because this is another person.
He was dressed as Homelander for the party.
For the party, for the birthday party, right? And it's like you can see he idolizes this man. He idolizes this man, and it's just the show. The show is as of right now, I don't. It's. I'm not gonna say it's a perfect show, but it's damn near perfect. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything wrong with the show. These first 3 episodes. Huey is the same Huey, kind of self-conscious, unsure of himself. Can't open a damn jar.
I'm like, really, dude? You can't open a jar? Huey? Come on, man. But it was perfect how they depicted it.
Yeah. And so you can see, because of that, you can see his motivation, because he finds out that Vicky Newman. Victoria Newman. I don't know where I got Cynthia from.
You're gonna get your hair popped.
But Victoria, she turns out she's a super. Turns out she's the one that's been blowing people's heads off.
We knew she was a super.
Yeah, we knew, but now Huey's found out. So now he is trying to go investigate, and the whole thing about him not being able to open the jar and always having Starlight to do it, because you see the first time he was struggling with it, and then he kind of like gave it over to Starlight to let her open it. The second time he went to open it, and Starlight immediately put her hand out. She was like, I already know you can't open it, so just give it to me. And then so when Starlight's gone, he's trying to open it. He's so frustrated, and that's when he smashes it. And that's when he's like, I need to prove that I can do something on my own. And so that's when he goes to the orphanage and to try to get the information on Vicky himself. And it's like,
he almost died.
Yeah.
or almost got really hurt, because you could see the caretakers from these superhero babies, they don't do too well with the lady being on crutches and her explaining that some of the parents don't even make it.
Right.
Loved how they went into that.
And then that was another episode of the animated show. They had the whole episode about these people who got paid by Vought to give their children superpowers, but they didn't get like an aesthetically pleasing superpower. Like, now they made fun of it in the animated show. Like there was one guy called Picante Balls who had like lava testicles. There was one guy who was called Agua. He was just, all he could do was turn into water, but the color of the Mexican flag. There was one guy, all he could do was, his power was that he was perpetually in slow motion. So everything that he did was slow-mo. There was one girl, she just turned into a ghost, and that's all she could do. There was one guy who came out, he had a boombox for a head. So it's like all of these wild and weird and wacky powers, but those aren't marketable to Vought. You know, so these parents, they see like, I don't know, I can't do anything with this child, so they give them up. And so that's kind of what the orphanage was. Either the child, their powers manifested too early and they ended up killing their parents, or they had a power that the parents didn't want. So they was like, all right, I don't want anything to do with this child, so they gave them up. And so it's
I love this world building that they're doing as well, though, because it's like you've seen somebody like Starlight Mom embrace it and like, I'm gonna train you because one day you're gonna go be in the 7. That was her goal.
Yeah.
And you have these other freelance superheroes, but again, the goal is to be in the 7. And you have a corporation that was giving out checks to drug your baby, and maybe it's lucrative for you, maybe it's not. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live in that world at all.
Awful. It's awful. But just to kind of wrap things up,
world building.
Absolutely great world building, great writing. And the thing about it is, like, right now there's like 4 different plot lines going on, 4 or 5 different plot lines going. Honestly, it's like 6 or 7 different plot lines going on. You got the main plot line of them trying to take down the Seven or take down Vought. You got Homelander's plot line. You got the Deep's plot line because the Deep got his own book coming out. Well, he had his own book that's out. He got his own movie that's coming out. So the Deep is dealing with some stuff because obviously his wife, who was like really supportive of him,
the guy fucks fish. I think that's enough going on right there. You don't need any more struggles.
But then you have Starlight's plot line with the dude. I can't remember. With not only with Huey, but the other guy that was on the reality show.
What is his ability? What is Supersonic's ability?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
I don't know either.
He was in a boy band, and that was it. That's all I know about him. I don't know what his ability is. But you have this. So you got this potential love triangle between Supersonic, Starlight, and Huey of this going on because as soon as Huey finds out that Supersonic is now in the Seven, his insecurity is already gonna blow up. And then at the end of episode 3, you see now Homelander has this plot to make everybody think that he and Starlight are together. And so how Starlight leaned into that, yeah, huge. But how Starlight leaned into that and just was like, I love the whole like the full circle thing because they started the episode off with the whole like Toddlers and Tiaras thing with Starlight performing in one of her pageants. She was having stomach problems, and her mom like, I don't care if you're sick. Pain is weakness leaving your body. So you're going to get up there and you're going to work through it. You're going to perform. And she went up there, gave an awesome performance. But you could see when she was done, she had her fist clenched because she was just like writhing in pain, but she had to put on a brave face for it. And then come full circle at the end of the episode, she like, Homelander's like, Starlight and I are in love. And she just leans into it. She kisses him, and she's like, she's got to put on a brave face. She puts her hand behind her back, clenches that fist like she has to grin and bear it because that's the only way to keep herself safe. At the same time,
that's exactly what Huey asked her to do.
Right.
So he can't be jealous about it or mad about it. You said I got to do what I got to do,
right?
Because this guy can literally laser my face off.
But yeah, so we got Homelander story, we got the main plot line, we got Homelander side story, we got the Deep story, we got Starlight story, we got Butcher's story with him trying to make sure that he distances himself away from Homelander's son because he was getting too close to him, and he's like, I don't want to end up like my father and like just alienate his Butcher's father alienated him. He's like, I don't want to do that to this child, but
not a smart move to piss off a kid with superpowers that can laser your face off. Not a smart move at all. To do.
No, but then not only and just going through them, and so you got Butcher story, you got Mother's Milk story with his kid, you got this whole Soldier Boy plot they're trying to uncover because they're trying to figure out what happened to Soldier Boy. You got Frenchie and his issue with the Russians. You got Kimiko and her thing about her childhood, and she just wants to be a normal person, and she's thinking that she's broken. It's just there's so much going on, but then at the same time, it still all flows so well. It still all fits so well. It doesn't feel like that's too much going on. It doesn't feel overwhelming. And it's crazy.
Are you trying to say that Prime, The Boys, is better than the MCU? Did you say that?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. Better than the MCU? I did not say that. Don't put those words in my mouth. Never said that.
What y'all heard? I heard
said that it was it's a well-written show. No, but it's
y'all heard in the comments.
No, but it's a well-produced show. It's the boys knows what it is, and I think that's a testament to having great source material from the comics. And just being able to put your own spin on it to make the show. because I know it doesn't necessarily follow the comics the same way that the show's not necessarily going beat for beat in the comics, but they've taken what they've built in the first seasons. They've taken what they built in the season and they've built upon it. Like you say, it's great world building. It's great world building. But before we wrap up, we have to answer the question: is it super? So I'll turn it over to you first, Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. The first 3 episodes of The Boys, we want to know: is it super? Is it super?
Let me tell you something. If you ain't watching The Boys right now, I don't know what you're doing with yourself. God damn it. What are you looking for? It's gratuitous. It's gory. It's funny. It's a great story. Immerse yourself in The Boys. Okay? Let me just tell you like this. It's a corporation that was way back in the day developing superheroes. That enough right there for me. It's just crazy. So you got the OG superheroes, and then you got these new school superheroes to a point that they done took all those years of data and created a test tube baby, baby, in America and call him the goddamn Homelander. Nothing can stop him. He's just that goddamn strong. He's the epitome of Superman if he was not raised by... Y'all starting to respect the Clints, the
Kents.
Y'all starting to respect the Kents now.
If Superman was raised by Luthor Corp,
anybody else?
I mean, essentially, if Luthor Corp existed when Superman was a baby, when Superman crash landed to Earth, and Superman crash landed to where Lex Luthor found him and raised him in that corporation, Superman would end up being like Homelander.
Yep. Which you see, because he's tried to do that many a times with Superboy.
Right.
Period. Learn that from the city girls.
But is it super?
Oh, goddamn it. Spotty, you already know. This is beyond super. The Boys season 3. If y'all not watching that, I don't know what you're watching. You're probably watching paint dry. Because you ain't got no business not watching this goddamn series. I can't wait till it. I was so glad they dropped 3. I was mad. I was mad because they only dropped 3. I'm like, God damn it. Y'all should have just kept this going. And that's just a sign of great. I don't have one negative. There was one. It's so small, it makes no sense to even mention it. And it was not even remember. Well, I can't even tell you.
Like it was so small, I don't even remember what it was.
No, because listen, we haven't even talked about this in depth. Okay,
no.
And it's probably because half of my face is being melted off. But the fact is, the shit that's going on this season, Butcher, this 24-hour V.
The V24, yes.
Yeah, I mean, this dude's body is dying. Kind of like mine right now, but I'm saying he's going through he threw up on Huey. I'm like, oh my God.
The thing about it is,
only for 24 hours.
Right, I was about to say, is he dying or is he actually developing superpowers? Is it beyond 24 hours? Because it's been beyond.
I don't think he meant to laser the shit out of gunpowder. But he can't control him.
But he did.
Damn shame what they did to that Challenger. God damn, man.
Just cut that bitch.
I cried. That's because I'm a Charger Challenger type of guy. But I was like, damn, you could have let gunpowder die and kept the car.
I mean, I felt like he was already dead the way Butcher was just like beating the shit out of him.
Every time we hit him, he died again.
But no, and we talked about good lines, and we talked about the good line that Homelander said. With Butcher, he was beating Gunpowder to get the information out of him, and Gunpowder was like, "I told you everything I know," and Butcher was like, "I believe you, but that doesn't change who you are." And just leaning into him is like, damn.
How heinous is that? Because you hate what you actually are right now? Because you're a soup right now. It's like,
Exactly.
Hypocrite.
You kind of think about it, and it's like, how else can they beat Homelander without having a super on their side?
Here's a question, Spider.
Uh-huh.
The conversation between Butcher and Homelander at the table, giving you that anticipation, that foreshadow building up, and the glance at the cookie jar, because you know that evens the odds of a fight that's gonna happen somewhere along down the line. And they giving you the seeds for it. Like, Homelander doesn't know that he would even be super when they fight.
Right. True.
How much of an advantage does that give Butcher?
It gives
how much of a disadvantage does it give Homelander?
Are we looking at like on an even playing field?
Right.
I don't know. And there's the thing about it, because I felt like going into using the V24, it was basically a shot in the dark. Because who was to say that was going to give Butcher the same powers as Homelander, right? No, it could have gave him the Deep's powers. It could have gave him translucent powers, and he could have just went invisible. Right? He could have just turned into water. Right? He didn't know what was going to happen. But what I do know is that he didn't use all of it. So he's probably going to use it again.
Here's the thing: is his body really rejecting it, or is that just the withdrawals from coming off of it? So many unanswered questions. Well, at the same time,
we gotta watch the rest of the season. We gotta find out.
Oh my god! at the same time, is it gonna last 24 hours? Because if it does, Homelander could just wait a day and come kill you when it wears off.
Does Homelander know about V24? Because we saw Stan Edgar talking to the congressman who was running for president and talking about closed doors, and he talked about V24. Sure that door soundproof. Right, because when Stan wanted to talk to Starlight, and he was like, "Can we have the room and put?" But no, the thing about it is, like, when Stan was talking to Starlight about her becoming co-captain of the Seven, and Starlight was like, "You know, he can probably hear you, right?" And Stan was like, "Let him hear. I don't care." And the way Stan is kind of like sick of Homelander shit. When they were at...
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
When they were at the rehearsals, at the sound check for Homelander's birthday party, and Homelander was like, "Oh, well, then Starlight's gonna sing me happy birthday," and Starlight was like, "Well, no, I don't want to sing happy birthday," and Homelander was like,
"He has to have something on him.
He's got to.
That's just
more than the video."
He never pokes his chest out at
Stan. Stan said. Well, Homelander was basically like, "I don't like this. I don't like what's going on." Stan was like, "Well, it's your party. You can cry if you want to." It's like, bro, like Homelander could snap you in half, rip you apart.
Do you think he has some type of protection spell or something? He's gotta have something.
He's gotta have something for him to run the supers the way that he does. In order for none of them to stand up to Stan. Because Homelander killed his old handler. And so for him to like just respect Stan, not talk back to Stan, Stan said, "Get out of the room, I need to talk to Starlight." Homelander gets up and walks out of the room. It's like Stan has got something. Stan's got something. Stan has some kind of control. I don't know. But first 3 episodes of The Boys, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely super, no doubt about it. Just I am excited for the rest of this season. It's going to be great. But you all let us know what you thought about The Boys in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the first 3 episodes. What were some of your favorite parts? Do you think that there were any downfalls or any negative comments, anything that you saw in those episodes that we didn't catch that you saw was maybe a problem with it? Because like we said, Very, very little, if any, issues with these first 3 episodes. But let us know in the comments what you thought about it. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, but don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notified when we have new videos going up. If you want to follow us, you can find us on all major podcast streaming services, and you can tweet at us, reach out to us on Twitter at ATSuperPod. Oh, man, I am excited about this.
All that what you just said.
But no, I'm excited. I am excited. I am so excited about this show. It is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, but man, more! I can't wait till Friday. This is why I like a Friday release. I like a Friday release because you can go through the week, you can talk about it, anticipate that Friday. It's like the end of the week. You get into it. It kicks your weekend off right. It's a phenomenal show to kick your weekend off right. But I'm looking forward to next Friday when we see an episode 4.
Go back and rewatch the first 3 all over again.
Sometimes you might have to. It does, because there's other stuff that we didn't see because we didn't
even talk about half this. We didn't talk about Victoria and that she killed the guy. We didn't talk about how thought Victoria was working for Vi. We didn't talk about so much stuff.
There's so much more to go into it.
come back. We'll talk about it.
Right, but definitely go check it out. Like I said, if you listen to it or you watch the episode here to find out if you wanted to see this, if you wanted to watch it, then like Mr. VIP Frankie Washington said, there's so much more that we didn't talk about that you can catch just by watching the first 3 episodes of The Boys. But go check it out. And then come back. Then come back. But thank you all. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. But we'll catch you all in the next episode. Have a good one.